Salutations, my friends, I am the Mighty Mander, and it is that time of year again. Not quite Christmas, but pretty damn close. It's E3 times, and the best time of year to be a gaming enthusiast. I fucking love E3. It's legit one of my favorite times of the year, just because I get caught up in the excitement. I know, like, I acknowledge that, like, half the shit that I'm seeing is just fake, right? But it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter because it's so exciting. And it is like all the conferences just came together, and a lot of them really seem to put an an emphasis on community and unity among gamers, which I really appreciate. And I think we need more of that in the gaming community. But anyways, I'm just gonna quick E3 roundup, go through the different conferences, biggest announcements, ones that are the most interesting to me. There won't be anything from Square Enix or Devolver Digital or the PC gaming conference. I would have liked to check out Devolver Digital, but I don't know why I didn't. Anyways, their shit always seems to be pretty interesting. But starting out with EA. EA was a little underwhelming this year, but you know what, that's all right. Let's see, like the big, their tentpole was definitely Anthem, which looks all right. You know, I know it's BioWare. BioWare's my boys, but I'm not into the whole MMO. AAA hybrid that they've got going on, with the Destinies and the Divisions and the Anthems. I'm not really all that into that type of game, but Anthem looks pretty tight. I'm a little bit divided on it myself. I'm a little bit internally divided. I can't decide whether or not to be excited about it. But I guess we'll find out when the game comes out. So we'll be looking forward to that. One thing, I'm actually more interested in EA Originals, the indie titles that are being sort of propped up by EA as a company. That is excellent. And I love that they're giving smaller developers an opportunity to shine like that. And their newest one, Sea of Solitude, looks really interesting. Like, I'm really interested in the art style and the premise behind it, and I love when the developers get up there and they're just excited and nervous. And yeah, man, it just seems like a real exercise in creativity, and I dig that. I'm not really all that interested in Battlefield 5, that's just me. If you're interested in that, that's cool. I fully understand why, but yeah, nah, not really my thing. I'm kind of done with Battlefield. And there was a couple like low-key Star Wars announcements-ish. They did a lot of stuff with Battlefront 2, which I'm not really into all that, but hey man, Clone Wars is cool, and I'm glad they're doing that. So, and I'm always down for more Star Wars games as long as there's some dope single player content or the game is just dope in general. Like that one guy from Respawn. Was that what it was? The guy from Respawn. They say they're making a new Star Wars game, Jedi Fallen Order. That's cool. It's a cool title. Is it gonna be a cool game? I don't know. It was a bit of a weird announcement, but we'll roll with it. And then moving on to Xbox, dude, Xbox killed it this year. There was so much cool stuff. It reminded me of PlayStation from 2016. It was just game after game after game, and like all of it was good. Like all of it was super cool. They led with the Halo trailer, which I didn't see the first time through, and tech demo, it's cool. More Halo, down for it. Dude, but then they come out with Sekiro fucking Shadows Die Twice Samurai Souls? Are you kidding me, bro? That's amazing. I'm so excited for that, dude. Like, after Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3, FromSoft just has my heart. I'm with them. The Soulsborne franchise type of genre, I'm so into that. Like, I'm so down for that. And then they followed it up with, I'm not sure if this is like exactly in order, but these are the notes, right? I've just got a bunch of all caps excitement notes in here, but Crackdown 3, which seems like it's just gonna be Terry Crews the game, which fuck man, I'm cool with that. Like Terry Crews is my boy, so I'm so cool with him just being in Crackdown 3. If it's literally just an Old Spice commercial but in Crackdown, I'm cool with that. Like that's awesome. And speaking of which, games like Crackdown 3 and Forza Horizon 4 are gonna be included on Xbox Game Pass, and bro, they really made a case for Xbox Game Pass. Like being able to join for $1, being able to get access to games like The Division and Fallout 4, and then getting access to all these new and exciting sort of tentpole first party releases. Like, that's cool. That's really cool. because a game like Forza Horizon 4, I would have felt obligated to get like a couple years ago. That's how I felt about Forza Horizon 3. And I would have felt obligated to get it just because I knew I was going to have a relatively good time with it, but it didn't, like, it stopped seeming like it was worth $60 for me. And, you know, eventually, Game Pass would probably be more than just that in the first place, but you get 6 months access to Game Pass for the same price as one full release title. So, hey, like, I'm just saying, Game Pass seems pretty solid. And then they got more Cuphead! I'm so pumped about more Cuphead! Like, Cuphead was one of the most refreshing and original and punishing and difficult and amazing games of the past couple years. And, like, the new playable character, Ms. Chalice, looks adorable, and I love her, and I want to play as her. I can't wait for Cuphead, the delicious last course. That's amazing. Okay, we have to talk about what is this new skating game? Like, I dead ass thought it was Skate 4 at first, and then when it wasn't, I was a little bit disappointed. And the thing is like, my biggest, like, thing with this, like, is that if it doesn't control the same way that Skate did, if it's not a spiritual successor to Skate, it's not going to be as good. Because, like, how... And I'm fully willing for them to prove me wrong, I would love that, but it's like, how do you improve on Skate's control scheme? How do you make a skating game control better than that? Moving with the left stick, flicking with the right stick, and grabbing with the triggers. How do you top that? That's just the way to skate with a controller. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And, you know, they kind of ended with a new Gears, and, you know, that Gears Pop Funko, whatever the fuck, in the Gears strategy game, whatever. I legit thought that, like, I thought the Pop thing was a troll. I legit thought it was just Microsoft trolling. But it wasn't, so we're gonna roll with that. But Gears 5, you know, they came back and subverted the troll and gave us Gears 5, which is cool. I'm super curious as to what's going on with JD, because, like, what's up with his, like, super jaded attitude and his beard? Like, what's going on in that universe? What's going on with Kate, man? I'm glad to be playing as Kate. I dug Kate in the last game. I thought she was one of the more interesting characters in the game. So it's cool that you get to play as her. But I'm just curious as to what's going on there. The dynamic between Kate and Dell seems a little confusing, and then the dynamic between all of them with JD is a little confusing. How Marcus is on Kate's side, but JD's not. So, like, it's a whole thing, man. I'm down for more Gears. Always down for more Gears. Moving on to Bethesda. Yo, I think Bethesda took it this year. I'm gonna be real with you guys, and we're gonna get to the rest in a second, but I'm gonna be real. I think Bethesda took it this year. Starting off with a fucking appearance from Andrew WK, which, like, hey man, it's corny as hell, but Andrew WK is the homie. That was really, really cool. It just comes out, and he's like the perfect, like, face to put on Rage 2. Like, legit, he's like the perfect, like, promotion for that game. Like, you know, they found a personality and they're really, really sticking with it, and I respect the hell out of that. And I dig it. I dig the aesthetic and the color scheme that they're going for and the tone that they're going for. I thought they kind of hinted at it with Rage 1, but it didn't really feel like it had enough of its own identity. You know, I've been revisiting that game a little bit, and, like, it's solid. You know, it's a good shooter, but it doesn't feel distinctive enough to have its own identity. So it feels like they're kind of going in a new direction with Rage 2, and I really, really dig it. And then they went... And I thought that was going to be it. Like, I thought that was going to be id's showing for the game, but no. Then they went and dropped a new Doom announcement, bro. Y'all, like, that was one of the only recent games that I felt the need to do a review on for my channel, because I just thought it was just so fucking good. And the fact that, like, they went and announced a sequel, like, I'm so in, dude. I'm so fucking in. And then they went and announced another Wolfenstein expansion, which is kind of like, it looks like it's kind of going to be like the Old Blood was to the original Wolfenstein, not the original, but the first Wolfenstein in this new franchise. Now they're doing Youngblood, where you get to play as BJ's daughters, and that's fucking cool. That's a really, really cool idea. And then, you know, the man, the myth, the legend himself, like, Todd Howard is a living fucking legend. How does a man like that have so much fucking charisma? It's just, I love that man. Then he went and, he dropped some information about Fallout 76. I was legit starting to think that all the leaks about that game being multiplayer were wrong. It took him a while to drop that bomb, but, drop the bomb. But I'm gonna be interested in watching this one from afar. Honestly, I think that Fallout 76 is, like, the one that I'm the most cautious about being excited about, just because Bethesda's notorious bugs when their games launch, that will not fly in a multiplayer game. That game needs to launch clean. But you know what? I'm really, really interested in the new direction for the Fallout series. I'm glad it's getting more than just another entry every, like, 5 years or so. I know there's there's a huge subset of, like, the Bethesda fan base that's, like, super purist and, like, wants Fallout to be a certain way. And I understand that, but also, like, you gotta make room for new stuff, bro. There's gotta be, like, a new direction every once in a while, and I'm interested to see how like this kind of this online multiplayer model mixes with Fallout. I'm interested in seeing how it plays out, but I'm not necessarily hyped about it. And then after that, I was like, I feel like there should just be one more big bombshell. And then they gave us two. Like, they were very small announcements, but they were for really big titles. Starfield finally got confirmed, which I'm so excited to see what Bethesda can do with their own IP. And then, The Elder Scrolls 6, throw that on top of there, why not? Why the fuck not? At this point, we know it's happening, we knew it was happening, but now we know for sure that it's happening, and I'm cool with that. Ubisoft. Beyond Good and Evil 2 looks dangerous, is what I have written down. If they Ubify, quote-unquote, that game, I think people are going to be pissed. Because people have such an attachment to that game, and the fact that they're just... feels like they're cashing in on that nostalgia and using it to push another one of their games, which I think is dangerous if they piss off the Beyond Good and Evil fandom. That point was about where I got, like, I was about to get sick of the cinematic trailers, but then they had a little bit of pre-alpha gameplay, which wasn't really pre-alpha gameplay, but shit, man, we saw the game running and it looks pretty cool. Also, huge opportunity for Hit Record. Like, what the fuck? Partnering with Ubisoft to make original content for, like, promotion within a game? I love that. Like, that's so cool. And they got JGL to just walk up on stage and it's like, hey man, what's going on? Like, fucking, it was really, really cool. It was interesting. Did they bring Elijah Wood out during that conference at some point for some kind of weird VR horror game? I don't have that written down, but I swear that happened. I might have just made that up though. Always down for more Trials, bro. Trials Fusion was like a low-key, really, really good game, and I like that they're going like full Jackass with it, which I think they hinted at in Trials Fusion. I'm not sure if they did anything like that beforehand, but like Trials Rising looks pretty fucking fun. Like, I'm down for that. Their biggest announcement was most definitely The Division 2. Oh, I forgot to mention Dying Light 2 as well. But their biggest announcement at Ubisoft was by far The Division 2. I think they announced it at Xbox, but then they went into more detail at Ubisoft. And my buddy Romer was presented me with a unique, a bit of a hot take on it, where it's like, he thinks that, like, whatever they're doing with The Division 2, they should just, like, they should have just done as content, like, additional content for the first game, which I respect that. But the thing is, I feel like they need to really nail the game before they have a sustainable model for like years and years after that. I feel like the game needs to be good, not only good but well received. Like The Division tanked hard after its first couple months, and I don't think that it would be sustainable to just keep releasing content for that. I think it's a smarter move to drum up anticipation for a new game and see if you can score a hit with that. And, at least it feels like it's embracing its identity as an MMO console hybrid, whereas the first Division felt like it was trying to be something else. So I'm glad about that. We seem to be familiar with this kind of model now, with the Destinies and the Divisions and stuff like that. So we kind of know what they're going for this time. We kind of know what to expect. But the thing is, like, their presentation was, like, exactly the fucking same. And, everybody's been saying it, but you need to ditch the fake gameplay commentary. It's trash. Like, you gotta stop. Yeah, fake scripted gameplay will never be good. Like, it's cringe. It's automatic cringe. It's really, really irritating. And then they brought my boy Greg Kirkhope on stage, bro, for some Mario plus Rabbids Donkey Kong Adventure. He was having so much fun. Mario plus Rabbids Donkey Kong Adventure, like, Grant Kirkhope conducting like a metal fucking version of his video game score. It was great. It was just so much fun. I have no real interest in that, like, as a game, in Mario plus Rabbids as a game, but I still respect the fact that it exists. I'm glad it does. It's really creative and unique, and I really, really dig it. Moving on to Sony. Sony whiffed it this year, man. Their big four and the couple of world premieres, which fucking, you lying asses. No world premieres, my ass, bro. You gotta have world premieres. But what was with this meta pre, mid, and post-show commentary that they were having? It was just not good, man. Like, really, really not good. I think it would have been better, honestly, if they were trying to tone down their presence at E3 this year, which it seems like they were trying to do. They should have just stuck to the one venue. You can keep the live music. They should have just reeled off the trailers, talked a little bit in the venue, not at this booth that they had going on, and made it a lot shorter. Made it like Square Enix length, maybe a little bit longer, because Square Enix was mad short. But like it was. But let's move on to the games. Anyway, they kicked off with Last of Us 2, which bold trailer. Like, being so upfront about Ellie and who she is at this point. Like, bold move, and I respect the hell out of that. And the gameplay looks awesome. Like, playing as Ellie a few years older, Ellie's such a badass. Like, and even though the game was so scripted, the gameplay sequence was so scripted, and, you know, we can expect it to divulge a little bit from that, just as the first Last of Us divulged a little bit from its initial gameplay reveal. But god damn, man, I'm just so ready for more of that high caliber storytelling and the like that gritty, hardcore fucking gameplay. Like, I'm so ready for more of that. Really, really excited for Last of Us Part 2. Ghost of Tsushima, little bit more hesitant about it than I was going in. I'm still super amped about Sucker Punch and, you know, them going in a new direction, because this looks very, very different than anything Sucker Punch has ever done before. It looks a little bit too similar to the other Sony exclusives in terms of its presentation, but, you know, I think I can get behind that. If it is a little bit of a Sony extended cinematic universe, as some people are, you know, calling it, I can totally get down with that, man. Like, if it's just the really solid games, each with, you know, like a hint of presentational, is that a word, similarity, but with completely different details, if they're all kind of built on the same foundation, I'm cool with that. I'm still down with Ghost of Tsushima. Death Stranding, more questions than answers, but fuck it, man, I'm in. Like Kojima seems so into himself with that game, and, like, I respect that. And the game looks intriguing and fucking batshit weird enough that I'm like, I'm super into it. Like I said, dude, Sony lying asses with the world premieres, man. Resident Evil 2 remake with over-the-shoulder type shit from Resident Evil 4. Leon looking like a little baby. That might be a solid entry point for me with the Resident Evil franchise. I was gonna do it with 7, but I didn't have the money at the time, so fuck it, man. Resident Evil 2, that game looks dope as hell. A weird game called Control, which is made by Remedy. Looks like Sony snatched up Remedy from Microsoft after Quantum Break kind of tanked, which, I think they were a little bit too ambitious with Quantum Break, and I think they should have just stuck with the game instead of making a fucking TV show to go along with it, but, Remedy is solid. They're a solid developer. I never played Alan Wake, but I heard it's really, really good. And then go all the way back to Max Payne. That shit still holds up, so I'm down to see what they have to make. And then Neo 2, which gonna be interesting to see how that fares when put up against Sekiro. I was really, that'll be interesting to see. You know, it'll be interesting to see how it kind of forms its own identity alongside From Software's games, as opposed to kind of competing directly with it. It's different enough. I feel like they can do it. Spider-Man reeling off the villains, bro. Like, give me all those villains. People were a little bit clowning on this gameplay trailer, and I can kind of see why, but at the same time, it, like, you know, it gives us a stark contrast in tone from the other gameplay demo, where it's like, you know, flying around the city, super bright. This time it's super dark, and you're not like, you're on the raft where it's like that prison. Gave us a cool look at the combat, and gave us all these villains, dude. Fucking Rhino, Electro, Scorpion, Vulture. Like I'm super excited for Spider-Man. I feel like just the movement in that game is going to make it worth the price of admission, and I think that with that showing, I feel like it was pretty strong, personally. And then finally we end up with Nintendo, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, other than Smash, Nintendo totally whiffed it this year. Like, I'm not gonna say it was bad, because it really wasn't. It was pretty par for the course in terms of what Nintendo's had to offer over the past couple years. And Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, like, I'm not sure how I personally feel about them just being like, look, everyone is here. Like, a weird contrarian part of me kind of wanted them to shake it up and add a bunch of new characters that had never been in a Smash Bros. Game before. But you know what? Calling it Ultimate and having it be like the amalgamation of everything that Smash has been up to this point, and then going from there, you know, because Smash 4 had DLC, so it's like, it stands to reason that now that they include all the DLC characters in this game, what's going to be next? So it leaves it open to questions, but you know, all the things that people were anticipating, like, I'm not a huge fan of these alternative Nintendo franchises. Well, not alternative to some people, but to me, the sort of secondary Nintendo franchises other than Mario and Zelda. No Animal Crossing, no Pikmin, no Metroid Prime 4. Like, that was the one that I actually was excited for, and this was a perfect opportunity to show us a little bit more of that. It didn't have to be a lot, but just anything. And, like, they just didn't show anything other than Smash, and, like, a new Mario Party game, and, like, a new, what's that, Overcooked? Is that cooking game? Which, hey man, that game looks cute, but it ain't Metroid Prime 4. Like, I don't know. I don't want to bitch. I don't want to be that guy. But I thought Nintendo was a little bit underwhelming this year. But, and you know what? I said Bethesda took it this year, but I am a subscriber to the belief that no one wins E3 except for us. We get to look forward to all these new incredible games. And so many great indie titles as well. Like, you know, all those indie titles that were shown off at you know, the EA originals, like Sea of Solitude. And then that little Zelda-like game with the fox at Microsoft's conference. That looked amazing. And overall, I'm just really, really looking forward to the next year or so of video gaming. I think it's going to be like I am every year. Like, that's kind of the beauty of this, is that it's really not that different than anything E3 has been over the past few years. But I still am just as excited every year. Like, I'm excited year after year after year around E3 times, and it's so fantastic. I love it, man. I fucking love video games. Dun, 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 dun. Yo, I just realized I forgot to do a top 5, so I'm gonna do top 5 of E3 show. Fucking first one I can think of is Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. I fucking love Dark Souls, and I can't wait for Sekiro, man. I just read a thing that says they're doing something a little different with it. No customizable character. You play as a fixed guy, but there also seems to be a little bit more verticality, and, you know, that game just looks awesome. A bunch of those top whatevers came from Sony, so we got Spider-Man. Can't wait for Spider-Man. So hyped on the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now, including Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a dope character. Can't wait to go fucking web slinging around New York City. Looks dope. Last of Us Part 2 also in there. Yeah, I dig that game, right? Like, just, I know that the gameplay is like a little bit, it's not the greatest, most fleshed out gameplay in the history of video games, but I feel like that's the point, and I feel like it really, really, like, it works to the game's favor rather than detracting from it, because that's the tone, right? That's what the game's about. And I want more Ellie. Ellie is such an interesting character, and I want to see more of her. So that's 3. What else we got? Yo, legit, like, I'm gonna lump Rage 2 and Doom Eternal into one entry on this because I'm equally hyped for both of those games, but there's more of Rage 2 on the horizon. Doom's probably not gonna come out until, like, late next year. So, was there a release date for Rage 2? I'm gonna look that up. Spring 2019. Fuck! Alright, well, I'm still gonna keep them both in the same entry because fuck it, man, it's my list. Even though it wasn't at any of the conferences, can I include Spyro in there? I didn't talk about Spyro because it wasn't at any of the conferences, which I'm a little bit angry about, but it's been at the E3 show floor. Fellers over at Achievement Hunter have played it, that much I know already, and it looks dope. It looks exactly the same, which is exactly what I want. So, like, I'm in, man. That's cool. I'm hesitant to put Ghost of Tsushima on there. It's still dope. And, like, Sucker Punch is lit, so, like, yeah, throw that on there as, like, an honorable mention or something like that. not a new game, but more Cuphead, man. That's always awesome. Sea of Solitude, another highlight. Like, I'm really, really impressed with that game and the way it looks and the way it was presented, so that's cool. Looking forward to that. Crackdown 3, Terry Crews the game, always down. And I can't think of anything else. I think that's my list. So yeah. Highlights of E3 for me in order of that they were presented to me in. We got Sea of Solitude, we got Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. I don't know which one is the proper title. I'm pretty sure Sekiro. If you want to be really, really fancy about it, you gotta go Sekiro. Crackdown 3, more Cuphead. I'm hesitant to include Cyberpunk until I see some gameplay. Rage 2, Doom Eternal, Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and Spider-Man. So those are my highlights of E3. So anyways, that's been my E3 roundup. I really enjoyed E3, the press conferences this year. One day, we'll get to the show floor, but not today. Let me know what you guys thought of the E3 press conferences. The Hot Wheels Acceleracers review is well underway. Hopefully I get it done by the end of the month. I've still got 18 more days, which doesn't feel like a lot, but I think I'll be able to get it done. I got you guys. So anyways, guys, I've been the Mighty Mander. I'll see you guys at the end of the month. Peace out, my friends. I'll see you soon.